Hello and welcome to Tea Tuesday. I'm Lisa Ann Spencer. Thank you for stopping by and having a cup of tea with me today. First of all, before I forget, I want to say thank you to the host, which is Life with Patty and Kathy's Favorite Things. If you haven't checked out their channels yet, please be sure to do so. So today, I don't have one of my tea sets out. What I have is this little tea for one pot. My husband gifted this to me some years ago. Came in this really pretty box. Something tea for one box. Flower Patch is the name of it. We were actually on vacation in South Dakota and he spied this and picked it up for me as a surprise and gave it to me that Christmas. So the tea that I am enjoying today is, the brand is called Wherein Organic Teas. This is Chamomile Apple Pie, it's called. And normally I don't like flavored teas, but this is actually just a natural herbal tea. It's got chamomile in it and it's got dried apple. Let me put my glasses on so that I can read the ingredients if I can find them. Proprietary blend, organic chamomile flowers, organic cinnamon, apple pieces. There you go. So it comes in these beautiful little biodegradable, what are they called, pyramid bags? Tea bags are biodegradable and the package is recyclable. These lovely little mesh bags. So when doing tea for one, this is much easier than making a whole pot that doesn't always get drank. So I thought I would share this with you today. Our family went to the local peach orchard as it's the end of the season there, and we wanted to get the last peaches that they had available. And they sell lots of different things there. It's a really neat place in Musella, Georgia. So we had a nice day on, I think it was Saturday. Anyway, picked this up, thought I would try it and share it with you on Tea Tuesday. It's smelling really good. So in this, the top part, is the teapot and the bottom is your teacup. And I just poured the boiling hot water in there with the tea bag and it needs to steep for a couple of minutes. I think it usually just says 2 to 3 minutes. But I like my teas to be really strong, and because I take cream in my tea, I don't mind letting it steep for a long time. The bitterness does not bother me, and the cream helps with the bitterness. I like it to have a really strong taste. So I have a little snack plate here. This little brown plate was given to me by my friend's little girl, Shoshana. When she comes to visit me at Thanksgiving, she knows I like dishes, so she goes to Dollar Tree and buys me a plate as a gift, which I really appreciate. So today I have my snack on Shoshana's plate. My oldest daughter just made fresh bread this morning. I'm trying to kind of low carb, but not totally, so I cut myself this tiny little piece of fresh bread with butter on it. And then my second daughter brought home a little carrot cake from work, so I got this little tiny piece of carrot cake and, my 78% chocolate. Gotta have that. So, got butter on my fingers. My tea is probably ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour that up. I made myself a big cuppa. And this, of course, sits on its own, so that's very handy. And honey. The color of the tea is like golden from the chamomile. It's really beautiful. I don't think I can show you without spilling it. Maybe you can see that. Put me about 1/2 teaspoon of honey and a little bit of heavy cream. I didn't want to mess up a creamer container for just 1 cup of tea. So this is kind of not as beautiful as the rest, but a little bit of cream. Stir, 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 and of course it's still quite hot. I don't know if you can see it steaming, but it is steaming. So while I'm letting it cool, I will share with you today is Bible study tip number 3. So a friend of mine gave me these highlighters that she uses. It's called Bible Safe Highlighters by Mr. Pen. So it has a mustache. It even comes with a little sticker mustache that you can, use to put on something for decoration. There are 8 different colors, and they are actually more like a wax crayon, but they're very vibrant. So they're vibrant like a highlighter, but they don't bleed through your pages, and they really don't rub off. So my Bible study tip in using highlighters, whether you use these or whatever brand you like, is when you're studying through a book of the Bible, and I'm just using Romans as an example. This is a Bible study technique that I picked up about 20 years ago. I attended a ladies' Bible study, and it was hosted by, maybe some of you, I don't even know if she's still around anymore, but Kay Arthur and the New American Standard Bible, which, by the way, I don't recommend because it has error and corruption in it, but I didn't know that then, and many of you probably don't know that either. So that's a story for another tea time. But one of the tips that I did pick up from her studies is when you're going through a book of the Bible, make yourself a list of key words. So say you're reading, the book of Romans, the first 3 chapters, and you're going to notice some words being used over and over again. So I chose the book of Romans today, and what I've done is written those keywords down on a note card. Paul, an apostle, so anytime Paul refers to himself and his preaching and his teaching, being sent by God, I highlighted that with a particular color. The word justify or justified, justifying, I highlighted in the pinkish color. He refers to the Gentiles very often in the letter to the Romans because it is a letter written predominantly to Gentile people. And then faith, he says over and over and over again. So righteousness, wrote that down. So I'm assigning a color to each of the key words, the gospel. And as I'm studying, I go through there, and then when I come across that word in my Bible, then I can highlight it with that color. And you might not think that that would be, so what's the big deal about that? But what it does is it draws your attention to those words, and it helps you to see, wow, he's talking about that a lot. Toward the back, well, no, it's in Corinthians. I was thinking about edification is a really big word in the book of Corinthians. So what you notice is with the highlighter, you're like, wow, he's talking about that a lot. And then Paul writes these uber long sentences, and as you're reading, you're like, I forgot what he was talking about. So if you're highlighting and you go back a few pages, for example, let me just give you a for example. Romans chapter 12. Romans chapter 12 is an awesome chapter. I don't have a lot highlighted in here, but you can see I do. And what I have highlighted is in dark purple, mercy. So Romans chapter 12 verse 1 says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So he's basing this, he says, I beseech you. That's my bird clock, by the way. I'll let it finish. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Oh, yummy, yummy. It's still quite hot. So he says, I beseech you. He's asking you. He's not commanding you. He's asking you by the mercies of God. based on the mercies of God. So you're like, well, wait, what exactly is the mercies of God? I mean, we know that salvation is, but all I have to do is look back the previous page and he says, mercy, mercy, mercy. And you flip back another chapter, mercy, 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 over and over and over again. So he just spent a couple of chapters telling you all about what the mercy of God is. And then he says, I beseech you, brethren, by the mercy of God. So that is my Bible study tip for this week, using highlighters, making a list of keywords in order to find the theme of the chapter and of the whole Bible book that you're working on. All right, so I hope that's helpful to you. Please comment below if you have any tips that you would like to share. Be sure to check out the channels of the host of Tea Tuesday, Life with Patty, and Kathy's Favorite Things. And until next week, keep studying.